AITA for telling my husband's female friend, he might be your best friend but you're not his. Long story short, my husband has one of those female friends. I'll call her Sarah. Her and I get along fine. But every once in a while she'll make a comment or sit a little too close or touch him a lot. Or compete with me on how close they are. Or how well she knows him. She's one in a big group of about 11 friends. I've talked to my husband about her several times, but it's so many added up micro actions that it's hard to tell her off for one singular thing without looking crazy. Well, this past weekend, the group of friends got together for the first time since we're now all boosted. My husband and I eloped a few weeks ago, and this was the first time most were seeing us since. Sarah came right up and got in our face as the group was congratulating us to tell my husband how disappointed she was in him for not telling her about our ceremony. Not inviting her. Not even sending her a photo. He told her nobody except our parents knew. Nobody was invited. And we don't have our professional photos back. This girl started sobbing. How could he do this to her? That she wanted him to be her man of honor when she gets married. She's single. And he didn't even invite her to his. And their friendship now needed some serious TLC to recover. This is in front of a whole group. I couldn't take it anymore and said, he might be your best friend. But you're not his. And this was between me and him. You were not even a consideration. There were so frosty oohs from the crowd, and she left the house. The crowd is split. They were all my husband's friends before I came into the picture, and some think it was uncalled for and that I should have just let my husband handle it. I was mad in the moment, but now I don't know. Too far? TLDR. I told my husband's female friend she wasn't his best friend and embarrassed her in front of all her friends. AITA? NTA. She was trying to make your marriage about her and her feelings. NTA. But I'm curious as to why your husband hasn't distanced himself from someone who doesn't respect your relationship? Info. What was your husband's reaction to what you said? NTA. She stepped over the line with her sobbing and demands publicly, and she needs TLC? She's got a whole relationship in her head that may or may not exist, and your husband needs to draw that line in the sand. NTA. And I wish you could see how hard my eyes rolled reading this post talk about no boundaries. She's so transparently into your husband it's almost painful. While you definitely could have let him handle her, you weren't out of line in the least. This girl needs to know where she stands. And that's well behind you. Nicely done. NTA. I have an exact similar scenario with an actual Sarah. The girl was horrid. After around 6 months of dating, I told my BF, now fiancé years later, that she made me uncomfortable, and unfortunately I didn't feel like being in a relationship with a person who had such an inappropriate friend, as she was all over him and they would go to dinner etc. It wasn't an ultimatum, as I honestly was just going to cut my losses, as I've been through a lot and didn't want the drama. Fortunately, he recognized her behavior. But over the years she has still crossed some lines. I love how the first thing she ever said to me was, I knew him first, so you'll have to just get over that he will always choose me, basically saying that she was the hot friend and he would always drool over her in favor of me, and if they had plans I'd have to deal. Thank God that didn't happen. But I did find out months later that she asked him to break up with me because she was willing to try things out. I guess she rejected him in the past. Of course he said no. Some women just love the attention. They don't actually want the man. Just the drooling. She does it with all their friends. Even the married ones. All that to say, good for you. Honestly, I think the only person's opinion who matters on this is your husband. Does he think you were an or did you do him a favor by saying what he never said? NTA. Your husband is absolutely the asshole for allowing that situation to even happen. And, Sarah, needs to hit a wall or two. If your husband is incapable of establishing boundaries, he'll be forcing you to do it. This is no longer just about your husband and a buddy. You're his wife. And that ring makes that your territory too. He needs to man up and make some big boy decisions about the groupies. Way NTA. My best friend is a guy. 38 meters. And I. 37F. Would never behave like that. We are super close. But even when he's single, I still don't act like that. She's got some major insecurities or she is secretly in love with him. Edit to add. You need to set boundaries since your husband doesn't seem to be setting them. Info. Why isn't your husband handling this if you both feel like she is overstepping? NTA. I'd say she embarrassed herself. This was a conversation she should have started in private, not in a large group hangout. It could have easily ruined the day if you didn't say anything when she started crying anyway. Not sure how to rule this, but you were not wise to chime in when she was already making a fool of herself in front of a group. Now people focus on what you said rather than her bad behavior. Next time just let her words make herself look bad. NTA. I have had women for best friends in the past. We didn't touch like that. Even when I was not with anyone. Her reaction to you getting married was over the top. It sounds like she wanted more than being just friends. Emo. NTA. Justified asshole. It sounds like she ignored all social cues and kept poking the proverbial bear. Sure, you could have been nicer. But also she ignored every polite and subtle social cue, so now she gets the cold hard truth. It would have been better in private, but she pitched her fit in public. NTA. She obviously has inappropriate feelings for your husband that she can't just come out and profess in front of his now wife. The sobbing is over the top. If anyone says she has platonic feelings for your husband, they are incredibly toxic. You put her in her place. She should stay out of married people's business. NTA. She's repeatedly been inappropriate with your husband's space in front of you. And it sounds like he's never had a proper conversation about boundaries with her. The fact that she began to sob when none of the rest of your friend group seemed to have as dramatic of a reaction should solidify that eloping was the right choice to make. I wonder how your husband had let it get to that point. He must have known that she would be upset. He might have either foreshadowed the impending disappointment he must have feared she would feel, or given her a special, "This is the wedding we both wanted. None of my close friends will be there." He kinda left it to you to deal with her, when he should have done it himself. NTA though. I personally don't think you're the asshole. She deserved it and was making your elopement. About her, you know how women can truly act in these situations, and I think you did the right thing. Your husband should have put a stop to this years ago. But I do think what you said was too much. I think you made yourself look a little cruel in front of his friends. A response like, "Wow, you're really overreacting about our very personal choice. Please calm down," would have been better. You were right on the cusp of her having enough rope to hang herself. And then you fired a rocket at her. She definitely sounds like a pain in the ass. But had you done nothing, everyone would have been forced to leave that night with the undeniable knowledge that she caused a scene. Now, they've left with the undeniable knowledge that y'all caused a scene.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.